If there was ever a moment in animation that stuck with me for decades, it would be this one. Its emotional impact was unparalleled at the time. Feelings of grief, pride, and appreciation for this machine that I had grown to love over the last hour and a half.
Crash landed on Earth, didn't know what he was doing.
I can't rewatch this moment without resurfacing the same emotions, even as a fully grown man.
Wow.
Movies that hit you when you're a kid usually lose their power when you revisit them as an adult, but every once in a while, something you grew up with ends up carrying more weight than you remembered. The Iron Giant is one of those rare films that grows alongside you. As a kid, it feels like a comforting story of friendship and adventure, and then as an adult, it lands with a deeper kind of honesty.
Shoot at it!
You start noticing how sincere it is, how patient it is, how much trust it places in the viewer, and that's what separates it from every other animated film of its era. It ends up feeling timeless in a way most movies don't earn. The context of when it's released makes it even clearer. Late 90s animation leaned into loud spectacle, exaggerated comedy, and fast pacing. This film felt like the opposite, quiet, atmospheric, and emotionally grounded.
That's right.
Brad Bird made something that moves at the pace of a slow fall afternoon. Long shots of headlights cutting through fog, wind moving through the trees, Hogarth exploring the forest or creeping through his house at night. These moments stick because they leave space for emotion to settle. That quiet becomes the source of a very specific nostalgia.
You are who you choose to be.
It reminds you of the times when the world felt huge, but your own little corner of it felt safe enough to imagine things that were bigger than you. Hogarth works at the center of the film because he feels like an actual kid rather than a trope. He isn't written for cheap laughs or exaggerated innocence. He's restless, imaginative, lonely, trying to prove himself and trying to make sense of a world that's shaped by fear.
He's like a little kid. He can't say a lot of words yet, but he understands things pretty good.
That Cold War tension hangs over everything, and the movie never overstates it. Adults aren't walking around shouting about missiles every 2 minutes. Instead, the fear sits in the background, influencing behavior, shaping conversations, leaking into the atmosphere.
For some reason, the army is in our front yard.
Hogarth is growing up in that environment. Even if he doesn't fully understand the politics behind it, he feels the weight of it. It makes sense that he'd latch onto something extraordinary the second it appears. The bond between him and the giant feels organic because it's built through small moments.
I'll come back tomorrow.
Teaching words, sharing comics, trying to understand each other's fears. It feels like a relationship forming instead of a plot device activating.
Wig out. It means crazy.
And the giant becomes a reflection of something bigger than a sci-fi robot story. Kids see a towering metal friend. Adults see a character struggling with impulses he never asked for, and a power he barely understands.
You almost did that to Hogarth!
Watching him try to steer himself gives the film its emotional weight. His arc is simple but deeply human. Who you become is something you shape deliberately, not something the world assigns you.
Only uses his powers for good.
That idea becomes clearer when you look at the adults around him. Kent Mansley is the most obvious example. He's not a cartoon villain. He's a frightened man who relies on control to compensate for insecurity.
That I can do anything I want, whenever I want.
People like him exist in every era, not outwardly malicious, but unable to tolerate uncertainty.
Where is it?
I don't know what you're talking about.
His panic bleeds into the entire town, turning rational adults into a nervous crowd. The movie makes a point without ever spelling it out. Fear spreads faster than the truth.
Secure the area. Tell them to target the robot.
We didn't build it, and that's reason enough to assume the worst and blow it to kingdom come.
Especially in a community already living under our larger shadow. The giant's instinctive defense mode sharpens that point. One moment he's gentle and curious, the next he's locked onto something cold and mechanical.
Why do you think the army was here?
Driven by instincts he doesn't want. Kids react to the shock of the transformation. Adults feel the sadness in it. There's a guilt afterwards, the way he tries to understand why it happened.
Come back!
Hogarth.
He tries to spend the whole story trying to understand what he is, and trying even harder to become something different. The town of Rockwell supports the story in ways that aren't always obvious. It feels like a preserved memory. Small diners, forests, the scrapyard, the modest homes. It's a place that feels instantly recognizable.
Welcome to downtown Coolsville. Population, us.
There's a warmth that sits underneath the paranoia of that era, and it never oversells the nostalgia. It shows people working, worrying, living their lives with a mixture of routine and underlying tension. Dean rounds out the film's emotional tone. His calm observation contrasts the adults who react instinctively.
I can't hide it here.
Him, not it. He can stay.
Tonight.
He sees potential in things that look strange or broken, and that mindset turns him into the Giant's first protector besides Hogarth.
You're not gonna get there fast enough on foot.
He watches, he listens, and he responds with patience. That approach becomes the philosophical anchor of the film. He gives Hogarth a version of adulthood that isn't dominated by fear.
Where'd he come from? You can talk to him?
Kinda.
Hogarth's mom isn't inattentive. She's overwhelmed, working long hours in an era defined by instability. Their relationship is handled with tenderness and honesty.
What if something happened to you?
I think he's lonely.
Hogarth spends a lot of time alone because that's the reality they're living in, and the film respects that loneliness instead of over-dramatizing it.
He's a good kid.
That space becomes the soil where the Giant's friendship takes hold. Hogarth isn't chasing adventure, he's chasing connection. Discovery is treated with the same grounded approach. The Giant is never introduced with spectacle. You can feel his scale before you're told how to feel. You learn him piece by piece, the same way Hogarth does.
In bed by 8 o'clock.
Come on, Mom. It's me.
The military escalation fits that era's mentality. The soldiers aren't incompetent, but rather they're people trained to expect the worst in a world where the worst feels possible.
Look behind you! The giant! It's attacking!
Their fear makes sense. Their urgency makes sense. Their clash is about misunderstanding, instinct, and the difficulty of seeing past what scares you. Everything in the story funnels into the moment the Giant rises into the sky, and the emotion isn't heightened by the impending explosion. It's carried by the stillness beforehand.
Where's the giant, Mansley?
What?
Everyone will die.
The acceptance, the clarity, the small smile. It's a moment that lands because the film never forced his arc. It let him reach that point slowly, thoughtfully, and honestly.
No following.
The aftermath respects that maturity. The town honors him without mythologizing him. Hogarth gets a piece of him, not as a magical token, but as a reminder of everything they shared. And when the parts begin drifting together again, it feels like the story acknowledging that healing is possible, even after destruction. Nostalgia isn't the only thing that made The Iron Giant endure long after its release. It was the way people talked about it. It became something passed along quietly, almost personally. It wasn't popular because it was trending or part of some cultural wave. It was a film that felt meaningful in a way that's hard to explain without showing someone the movie itself.
I guess you're not gonna hurt me, huh?
Its reputation built slowly, carried by reruns, rediscovery, and timing. People finding it at exactly the right point in their lives. Its staying power also comes from how cleanly it's made. The animation blends warm hand-drawn art with early CG in a way that still looks grounded today. The storytelling is confident without being flashy, and the tone, gentle, patient, emotionally steady, hits even harder in a time when most family films lean on constant movement.
Things die. It's part of life.
The Iron Giant takes its time, and that restraint helps it age better than almost anything from its era. The film also preserves a version of childhood that doesn't exist in the same form anymore. Not idealized, but quieter and more physical. Long afternoons with nothing to do, wandering through the woods, letting imagination fill the empty spaces.
Nolan, if we can transplant at least 15...
Hogarth's world feels small but filled with possibility, and the movie handles that space with authenticity instead of nostalgia for nostalgia's sake. That honesty is part of why adults revisit it, not to feel young again, but to reconnect with a time when curiosity came naturally.
Mom?
As you grow older, different parts of the film come forward. You notice the exhaustion in Hogarth's mom, the steadiness in Dean, the panic behind Mansley's confidence, the loneliness in the Giant. The movie didn't change, we just grew up. and that evolving relationship with it becomes its strongest quality.
Because I'm a shrimpy dork who thinks he's smarter than them.
That's the quiet strength behind its legacy. It's built around sincerity, small gestures, clear emotions, and characters who feel human. Some movies fade as the world gets louder. This one doesn't. It waits for you, and when you come back, it meets you with the same honesty it always had.
Come on, honey. Time to go.
See you later, guys. See you later.